Hello and welcome to your yoga practice today. It is a beautiful day, so I thought we'd take our yoga practice outside. With that, there are going to be times where there are distractions going on, there are noises going around, but I wanted to practice anyway because in life there are always going to be distractions, and in our yoga practice there are going to be distractions there too sometimes. So I thought it's still important to practice. I did consider not, but it's too good a day to miss out. So let's begin today's class by coming down onto our backs. Before we do begin actually, I did just want to mention it is a good idea to have a block with you today. So find your block and then come down onto your back on your mat. Bring your feet in under your knees, so your heels are under your knees. And we're going to begin by simply coming through, lifting our tailbone, tilting it up and lifting it up into bridge. And as you exhale, lower down. So inhale, lift up, lift the hips, exhale, lower. This time as we inhale, we're going to reach the arms up overhead at the same time. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up, reach the arms up. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Inhale and lift. And exhale, lower. This time we inhale, lift up, reach the arms up overhead, and we're going to hold here. Breathing into it. Now see if you can lift up onto your tippy toes. Take a breath and lower the hands down to the mat, staying up in your bridge. And then exhale, lower the heels down to the mat and lower the hips down. Good. Bringing the knees into the chest and taking a gentle rock from side to side. And then bringing the hands under the knees, and we're going to simply begin to rock up and down our spine. Taking a few rolls, few rocks, and then coming up to sit. Rolling over onto the hands and knees and coming through your tabletop position. I'm just going to move the mic so that you can hear me. So in a tabletop position, so our hands are under our shoulders, our knees are under our hips. And we're going to come through some cat-cows. So drop the belly, open the chest, lift the hips. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale and open up. And exhale, rounding through. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Good. Come back through tabletop, walk the hands forward, tuck the toes, and exhale, lift the hips into your down dog. So first downward dog of the day. So feel free to move it a little bit. Walk your dog. Move your hips from side to side. Lengthen back. Bend the knees slightly so you can lengthen through the spine. And then when you're ready and you've found that length, then you can begin to lengthen through the legs. As you inhale, round forward as if we were coming through that cat, come through into plank pose. And as you exhale, bend the knees, send the hips back and up towards the sky. Inhale, rounding forward, coming through your plank, and exhale back to down dog. Inhale, round that spine, come forward, plank position, and exhale back. Now this time we're going to round forward and hold in plank, and then as always, option to come to your knees if that feels best for you, and then everybody lower down slowly to the belly. Untuck the toes here, and we're going to inhale, lift up into baby cobra. Exhale, lower the forehead to the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. This time, inhale, lift up and hold. Lift the hands off the mat and send the fingertips back towards the feet. On your next inhale, lift the legs off the mat for Shalabhasana. Breathe in here. And then exhale, lower down, bringing the left ear to the mat. We're going to come through that Shalabhasana one more time. As we inhale, lift up. open up through the front of the body. And exhale, lower down. Bring the hands to the outside of the mat at shoulder height. And this time as we inhale, we're going to lift up into a higher cobra. And like a wave, lower down on the exhale. Inhale, lift. Open up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, open up, hold here. And then take some gentle movements from side to side, just doing what feels good for you. And then exhale, lower down. Walk those hands in under the shoulders so you can lift up into your cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes and send your hips back for down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look between the hands and step forward. Find that half lift on an inhale. Exhale, lower down. Ground down into the feet, and as you inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms, and exhale, sweep them behind you. Clasping the hands behind the back, open through the chest. Exhale, we're going to bend through the knees, folding forward, keeping those hands clasped and folding over the legs, allowing those hands to reach wherever is comfortable. Release the hands down to the mat. And as you inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, step back through plank. Come through your vinyasa. So down in chaturanga, inhale, open up in cobra, and exhale back to down dog. So options here are to always come to the knees in that chaturanga, and if instead of coming to down dog, child's pose feels better for you today, then come to there. As you inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring the knee towards the chest and step the foot forward between the hands. Inhale, lift up into high lunge. Reaching those arms overhead. And as you exhale, bend at the elbows, open through the chest, and allow those hands to continue down behind the back to clasp behind the back, so you can open up a little further. Releasing the clasp with the hands, and as you exhale, dropping that back heel to the mat, open up for warrior two. Exhale, relax those shoulders down away from the ears. And circle the hands down to the mat. Step back through your plank. Come through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward dog or child's pose. Inhale, lifts the left leg. And exhale, bring it between the hands, stepping that foot forward through. Inhale, lifting up to high lunge. Exhale, bend the elbows, open through the chest, and taking the hands behind you and clasping the hands so you can open up through that chest a little more. Look up towards the sky if that feels good for you. Then release the clasp of the hands. Exhale, dropping that back heel. Open up for warrior two. Exhale, release those shoulders down. Encircle the hands to the mat and step back through plank. Come through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward dog. Bend the knees, look between the hands and step forward. Find your half lift, lengthen through that spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Ground down into the feet, reaching those arms up overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lifts the arms up. Exhale, the hands down behind you. Open through the chest as you clasp the hands. Can you open up a little more through that front body? Send the hips forward. Open that chest up towards the ceiling or the sky. Then exhale, lifting up, bending at the knees so you can lengthen through that spine, folding over the legs, taking the hands with you. Then releasing the hands down to the mat, finding that lift on an inhale, then plant the hands and step back through your plank. Come through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward dog. Inhale, lifts the right leg. Exhale, bringing the knee forward and stepping it between the hands. Inhale, lifts you up. Exhale, bend and open, taking the hands behind the back. Open through the chest a little more. This time we're going to exhale, bring the right shoulder to the right knee, reaching those arms up overhead. Then lifting up on an inhale, and exhale, opening up to warrior two. Right elbow comes to right knee, left arm reaches overhead. Now you can stay here, or you can take that right hand down to the mat in front of the foot. If you want to take your block here too, you can bring your block in front of that right foot and place your hand on the block. Now option to stay here with this, or option to take that right arm behind the right leg, taking the left hand behind you and opening up for a bind here. Release the hands, lifting back up through that warrior two. Now this time we're going to circle the hands down to the mat, coming up onto those toes on the back foot, ground down into that left hand and open up to the right side. Option to stay here, or option to come down onto the pinky toe side of that left foot, walking that right foot back in front of the hips and then taking that right foot back to meet the left. Now option to stay here as well, or option to step that right foot behind the left, lift the hips, lift the chest and open up for wild thing. Exhale, dropping the hips towards the mat before bringing that right hand down to the mat and stepping the right foot back, coming through plank. Lower down through your vinyasa. Exhaling back to down dog. Inhale, lifts the left leg. Exhale, bringing it between the chest, between the hands and stepping that foot forward. Lifting up into your warrior one, or high lunge, sorry. Exhale, open through the chest, bringing the hands behind you and clasping the hands. Open a little more. Now this time, exhale, lowers the left shoulder towards the left knee. Inhale, lifts you up, dropping that back foot, opening up for warrior two. Exhale, lowers the left hand to the left, or left elbow to the left knee. Right arm overhead. Now option to stay here. Option to take that left hand to the mat or to the block. And then option to stay here, or option to take that left hand underneath the left leg, circle that right arm back and binding. Releasing the hands, coming back up on an inhale. Then lifting up onto those back toes and bringing the right hand down to the mat and opening up to the left side of the mat. Now option to stay here, or option to come to the pinky toe side of that right foot, walking that left foot back towards in front of the hips and then stepping it back for your side plank. Option to stay inside plank, or option to take that left foot behind the right, open up the hips, lifting the hips, opening up through the front body for wild thing. Now to come out of this, we're going to drop the hips down, bring that left hand to the mat and the left foot back to the mat. Come through your vinyasa. Meeting in your down dog. Inhale, bend the knees up between the hands, and we're going to step forward to sit. Bringing those legs out in front of you, sitting up tall through the spine, then bending that right foot, bringing that right sole of the foot into the left thigh. As we inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold forward over that left leg. Head to knee pose. Your head doesn't actually have to touch your knee, it's just taking that action of coming towards the knee. Inhale lifts you up, and then exhale, taking the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you, in a twist. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, twist. Now grounding that right hand into the mat, and we're going to take that right knee into the ground, left foot into the ground, and lift the hips up. Open through that front body. Then exhale, lower down. Coming back to the front of the mat, extending that right leg out, bending the left, and taking that left foot into the right thigh. Inhale, lifts the arms overhead, and exhale, folds you forward. Breathe in here. Inhale lifts you up, reaching the arms up, and exhale, twisting, taking the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, creates length, and exhale into the twist. Now grounding down into that left hand, left knee and right foot as you lift the hips up off the mat. Open through that front body. Exhale lowers you down and brings you back to the front of the mat. Now from here we're going to bring our soles of the feet onto the mat, and I'm just going to turn around so that my voice is closer to the mic. And we're going to bring our soles of the feet onto the mat, bringing your block alongside you and lower down onto the back. Bringing the soles of the feet or the heels underneath the knees, and we're going to ground down into the feet and into the shoulders. And we're going to take our block either on the medium or highest height, and we're going to lift our hips up and take our block in underneath our hips as a bit of support. Now if you are on the highest height, it may feel a little out of balance. So just notice if it does, and maybe if it does feel out of balance, you can come down a little lower, because we want to be really balanced here. Opening up through that front body. We're really preparing our front body for the next pose today. Now lifting the hips up off that block, removing the block out of the way and lowering the hips to the mat. Now if that posture felt like enough for you today, you can come back to it, lifting the hips up, and you can come to the medium or even the lowest height on the block and just rest your hips there. If you want a little bit more today, you might bring those hands in underneath the shoulders, grounding down into the feet, and we're going to lift up, bringing the crown of the head to the mat for, oh my goodness, I cannot remember it, wheel pose. And once we've grounded down into our hands a little more when we're on the crown of the head, we're going to lift our heads up off the mat for a wheel. So prepare yourself Get ready. And as you inhale, lift the hips, come up to the crown of the head. And then firm your hands and lift up into wheel. Now play with this wheel. What feels good for you? Do you need to adjust a move so you feel a little better? Breathe in here. Now looking up towards the sky, lowering down, moving that head out of the way so you can lower the shoulders and lower the hips to the mat. Bringing the knees in towards the chest this time and rocking a little side to side. Then bringing the knees into the underarms, sending the feet up towards the sky and taking the hands and clasping them around the outside of the feet for happy baby. This is your counter position. We've done a lot of opening through the chest. This time we're countering it out. Bringing the knees into the chest one more time, really hugging them in before lengthening through the legs and sending the legs out long, allowing the feet to just drop open. Hands come beside you for Shavasana. Breathing here, letting go. And beginning to lengthen the inhales and the exhales. Taking some movements through the fingers and the toes. Reaching those arms overhead, lengthening through the body before bending the knees and rolling to the side. Just taking a moment to pause and thank yourself for taking your practice today. And then when you're ready, coming up to sit. Closing the eyes and just pausing for a moment. That was not an easy flow. You really opened through your front body today. How do you feel? Just notice. There were certainly a lot of distractions in today's class, but you've done it. You made it through. Go you. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. Thank you for joining me today for your practice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. If you liked this class and you know what to do, hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more classes like this, then hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see notifications and when videos drop, hit the notification bell. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this flow, and I will see you next time. Bye.